Alright guys, what's up? It's your boy User. Back with some more Maximum Football here. Another clip I saw and I kind of want to just go through briefly and break it down. I'll just run through it real quick. Alright, so let's unpack this one thing at a time here. First, I kind of want to just talk about one of the things I'm starting to really be impressed by is this HUD. Now, you've got almost like a Sports Center broadcast overview of, like, longest catch. It looks like they might keep track of passing and stuff here. You have your audibles and things here on the left hand side. It gives you a previous play of is what the defense and offense both ran. It looks like this is defensively the user control. So you have a D-line shift. You probably have a linebacker, and there is a coverage one that will pop up here. A lot of very basic, cool information. I like the stuff on the field turf as well. It gives you kind of a mixture of a broadcast view, kind of like a coaching perspective as well. Very close to what it looks like Madden has to offer here. Let's talk about the pocket here. So in the last clip, I talked about the offensive line play and kind of how that's being fleshed out. Now, you can see here it's a three-man line against a really heavy tight end set. The user control here is over the nose, and he will pull the center from the user perspective, and you're going to get two blocks here engaging, which releases a free rusher here in the middle of the field. So it looks like they're sending a blitz with a man coverage with a cover two show over top. So you're going to get man here, and you're going to get a blitz with this free guy. It looks like the middle linebacker is man on the running back. So you're getting a four-man pressure out of a three-man line, essentially. A couple weird interactions do happen. You get the guard engaging the end, which means the left tackle doesn't, he kind of warps through the end. Same thing kind of happens here on the right hand side, and then you get the quarterback who has a free rusher in his face get hit. The running back flares, so he's not in a blocking assignment, but as you can see, these players are fighting through this traffic and trying to stay with their assignments. I think a lot of the logic that's going to get changed, in my opinion, is going to be offensive line and how they interact with the defense. I do like that you can user control and pull players off. I think that's very cool, especially if like it's a college football setting or something like that. But just as long as there's tools offensively to counter some of these things, I think the game will be okay. Now, you get this really crazy good hit, and it looks like it's either an interception or a fumble. I think it's an interception. But again, this is a very cool interaction where this guy gets popped. This game looks like it's going to be a very physical representation of football at its core. Now, one weird thing that I did see is some of these tackles, their head displaces or bends or something like that in certain ways, and it's like a warping of the physics. Now, it looks bad, but at the same time, I'm very intrigued to see how they fix this and flesh it out a little bit. This is not EA, okay? So I'm looking at this game from a little bit more of a forgiveness window. If football is being represented and it looks physical and fun, at times warping, it's a video game, I understand that. But how cool that is that this interception took place, it really shows that the ball physics, the players are very aware of what's going on. The ball physics are represented pretty well, as as well as the video game can represent it. And I think it's very interesting that small little details like this are playing out. Now, this tackle looks very similar to the one from the other clip where the player lands on top of the other one and kind of rolls off. And again, without Sapien technology, I just simply don't comprehend how they're capable of making these human beings interact with one another. I thought it was, mandatory that Sapien technology be, present to represent football. I just can't fathom how it's, happening without that. I want to talk too about some of the route running and things, because I do believe that's another key point they need to tighten up. There's two very specific things in football games you have to have right: the defensive offensive line interactions and the cornerback receiver interactions. I think the safeties look good. They're in their back pedal, getting their depth. again, in a cover 2 man, all they're doing is keeping everything in front of them. If something goes deep, it creates a natural, almost like a double team. So a couple things. Let's look at this player and how square his route is. Any day. So there's a little bit of a hitch. It doesn't look like there's enough frames or something to make up for him breaking down and cutting. I respect the fact that there is a breakdown and a cut, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up here a little bit more. I do want to look at this interaction too, because this corner breaks laterally because of the in route with the receiver right off the bat. Now, I love that he opens his hips like this, because from a technique perspective, in man coverage, there's a lot of different ways that you can play receivers. This is an interesting take where the receiver will initially step into the middle of the field to try to basically split the cornerback. To counter this, he's taking a false step laterally to his inside and then can run with the receiver that way. On the outside here, you have another receiver or a corner. He's playing off technique. He's in a back pedal. The player's, he has inside leverage on a man coverage, which is usually good. He's got to fight through the corner to get free. And again, this receiver at the top runs like a square in. He breaks down a little bit better than this player. It looks like they have the animation for some of this stuff, but others it's going to need cleaned up a little bit. I do like this tight end wheel route. That looks real clean. I like that a lot. And maybe some things and tweaks like some head tracking and stuff could be, incorporated here at some point as well. But the hit, very cool. I just kind of wanted to go over a lot of the gameplay here, and you do get these screens at the throughout. So you have a defensive line shift, and I know this is going to be a little blurry. My technology is not up to par with other million subscriber YouTubers, but you have a defensive line, a spread. You can move them left, right, pinch. You can pick their point of attack, so you can slant them, very similar to what Madden has. I'm assuming that the linebacking cores have very similar audibles. I didn't see that in this one. But you do have defensive back alignment changes as well. So you're going to get a cushion. You can show blitz, baseline, press. That's probably for the entire defense. And then you have some other stuff here. It looks like over top, inside, outside, underneath. So I don't know if there's a way to individually do assignments, but it looks like this goes back to the OG Maddens, where I remember Madden 06, there were ways you could pick a corner and you can make him shade inside, outside. It would basically help you if someone was cheesing like a specific route, and you could assign your corner to kind of cover certain ways. Very similar to Madden, I believe. Maybe if you have a cover 2, you can do over top where it spreads those zone the zone guys to the sidelines a little bit more, or you can force them to the middle of the field to protect against a seam route, or even maybe it's like an underneath where you could play a lot more aggressive or something with help over top. I'm not exactly sure. Again, I just thought it was an interesting little catch that I saw during the gameplay segment. But again, I love these intro screens. This stuff looks really cool, and I think if they're able to get a couple of like really good content creators that kind of push this game and keep it fleshed out, and they keep their word as far as like how they're going to update it, I have really high hopes. I'm going to try to bring some more clips once I get them.